Hello and welcome to our 38th episode.
Woo. 38th episode of Drunk Doctor Who.
Happy holidays.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Thanksgiving. And very, very merry upcoming Christmas. We probably had the most Christmassy.
Most Christmassy what?
Well, we started with pumpkin pie.
And
apple cider with Fireball. And it just feels like the holidays, you know? There's that certain point where it ticks over and you're like, man, it's Christmas time.
Well, December 1st, which was yesterday. Alright, what are you drinking?
Apple cider, which I didn't put any Fireball in that one yet, but here's my Fireball and Coke.
Fireball and Coke. Alright.
And water.
And water, okay.
Stay hydrated.
And he's got Fireball. I have Captain Morgan 100 proof Black Label spiced rum, which for some reason he talked me into putting apple cider in this drink.
Well, it has to be hot apple cider, and it has to be enough. You didn't dilute it enough. That's like 50% rum.
No, it's about a third rum, and the rum's half alcohol, so it's still 6 alcohol. So, but yeah, this wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. But I had a couple of drinks of straight rum before this, and I'll go back to straight rum after this because the straight rum is a little bit better.
But man, apple cider and bourbon. You ever had Three Brothers? Is that what it's called?
Three Brothers?
Or Christian Brothers bourbon?
No, I don't think I've had that.
It's super good.
I like
just apple cider.
Is it Kentucky bourbon? Is Kentucky bourbon the best?
I don't know who makes it.
Alright. This week we watched The Abominable Snowmen. Oh, it's December 2nd, by the way, which is why I said we're in the Christmas time.
We have the Return of the Master.
No. Okay. Alright, well, you are getting way ahead of yourself, okay?
We also have the return of the Ice Warriors next episode.
Okay.
Which they're first.
Alright, hold on.
Also, the third appearance of the Sonic Screwdriver.
Okay, you're wrong on all counts.
But all those things were there.
Alright, here you go. Okay.
Did I get you?
I don't know. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna find red dots for the next week.
Alright, this one was The Abominable Snowmen. It's 6 episodes, which aired from the 30th of September to the 4th of November 1967. All of the episodes have been wiped and lost, except episode number 2, which survived on 35mm film. So episodes 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are reconstructions. Episode 2, of course, was the actual episode. Anyway, so he is wrong. First of all, it's not the Return of the Master. There's never been the Master before. And this is not the Master, okay? There's a gentleman here called the Master, but that's because he's the head of a monastery.
The first Master was Victoria's dad.
Okay, they're using it as a title like Sir or Ma'am, and they're not using it as the name, like the Doctor and the Master. It's a title, the Master of the House. Anyway, in this case, it's the Master of the Monastery. What's his real name? It's some crazy thing with
Padma Sambhavar. You want to see that spelled?
Yeah.
We have the OK intelligence.
No, it's the great. No, it's the great.
Okay.
No, seriously, the name of it is the Great Intelligence.
Yeah, this is intelligence.
The Great Intelligence, okay? Otherwise, people get confused. That's his name, even if he's not great. The Great...
Okay.
The Great Intelligence, right? Right, great...
The OG. There we go.
The Great Intelligence. And then Samnamamdavar's name.
Well, let me spell that. Here's... Wait, no, Padma Sam... Let me refer to my notes.
Okay. He's also wrong. The Doctor's not used the sonic screwdriver. The sonic screwdriver does show up fairly soon in Doctor Who, but he just uses a regular screwdriver.
Or he's using the sonic screwdriver as a regular screwdriver.
No, it's a regular screwdriver. You can see it. It's a regular screwdriver. Also, he's right. He's just yanking my chain. Also, he's wrong. Next week, we do get the Ice Warriors, but it's not the Return of the Ice Warriors. It is the first showing of the Ice Warriors, as opposed to
the Ice Soldiers.
The Ice Soldiers from the Keys of Marinus. These are the actual. They're from Mars, man. The ice warriors are from Mars. The ones earlier were not from Mars.
Yeah.
They're the ice soldiers.
Terramorphed it yet, so the heat's still down, so it's real cold.
Padma Samba.
Havar.
Sambhavar.
Padma
Okay.
Sambavar. Which is just...
This is probably going to be a chaotic episode.
How long do you think it took him to get his library card with a name like that?
Well, that's like my middle name. Nebuchadnezzar, I mean, seriously.
Padma Sambavar.
Okay, anyway, so episode 1, the doctor...
I spelled grow. I got distracted.
Wait, what?
I never finished reading. You distracted me with Padma Sambavar.
How do you get the grow? It's the great intelligence. All right.
Well, I was halfway through I didn't finish the letter.
E-A-T, great intelligence.
What if we spell it like a cheese grater, like G-R-A-T? Great. A great intelligence.
Or G-R with an 8 behind it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's okay.
Okay.
I think the canon spelling is G-R-A-T.
No, it's G-R-E-A-T.
Because he was awfully grating.
Alright.
Are you gonna leave me? Or are you
No, I'm pulling my pants. Alright.
you need a belt?
I've got a belt, but they're big pants. Okay. So I gained weight again, because holidays and
It's
stupid
the
stuff.
holidays.
And I got a treadmill. So now I'm walking a whole bunch on the treadmill trying to lose weight.
How's that?
So I got to the bigger pants again. You remember these?
Mhm.
The khakis.
Khakis.
The 40s instead of 38s.
You know what those are in Boston?
What?
Khakis in Boston. That's what you start your care with. You gotta get my khakis to start the care. Go to the pack.
Oh, I'm not drunk enough yet. All right. Okay. But no. But I got the treadmill, and I'm walking on the treadmill trying to lose weight. Well, the thing is it's working, but I can't get into the old pants yet. So these pants are really loose. So I keep having to pull them up, even with a belt. All right.
You're in that weird
You're that weird half size.
size limbo. Yeah, I was 35 for like a long time.
I was 34s for a long time, but man,
See, that's the normal size though.
You get married?
I mean, like 35, 36. There's no, or 34, 36. There's no 35.
Where the heck was I? Okay.
So then I lost weight, went to 34. Then gained weight. I'm now at 36 again.
Alright. You're young.
big.
Don't worry. You'll hit
too
more
big.
later.
It's too big.
Alright. I'm trying to get back into the 38s. But I'm 51. I think I'm doing alright. Okay. So anyway.
You have a 51 waist?
No, I'm 51 years old. I have probably a 39 waist because the 40s
You
are stupid
just
loose.
turned 50.
No, I turned 51 this year.
But time's going so fast.
It is. It does.
Because you like just turned 50.
Last year, yeah. Okay. Once again, this is probably going to be a very chaotic episode. We're both reasonably
super
drunk.
organized. I have pristine notes.
That does not mean that this is an A to B to C thing.
I even noted my drinks. The dark ones are Fireball Cokes. The light ones are apple cider.
Okay. We'll watch the escalation up into actual ability to consume alcohol.
What?
Okay. So the doctor and Victoria and Jamie land in the Himalayas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're there in the Himalayas, and the doctor's like, "Hey, I've got this Gata." Is that what it was? A Gata?
Gunthar.
Gunther, right?
Gunthar.
Gunther. Alright.
I don't remember if there's an R.
Okay. The British say a lot of things when there's a vowel at the end of the word.
Mm-hmm.
The British a lot of times will put an R there as well, even though there's not an R.
Gunther.
Gunther, but they'll say Gunthar. Or
Like the computer. What was his name?
Wait, you're talking about the one in the
War Machine.
The War Machines.
What was his name? They had a letter that they didn't.
But they put an R at the end when there wasn't supposed to be one.
Yeah.
Because the British do that a lot.
The War Machines. What was his name?
know.
Was it the War Machines?
It was the War Machines. It was the War Machines.
Why didn't I write down the name of it?
It was like 4 or 6 episodes. You probably did.
I don't think I wrote down the name of the machine.
Alright. Voltar.
Voltar. How they pronounce it.
Right.
Wotan.
Wotan. Because it was the W like a V, so Wotan. They pronounce it like the
Wotan.
Viking thing. Okay, Wotan.
Wotan. Okay.
Alright. So anyway, this is gonna look so weird later. Alright, so anyway, the Dr. J.B. Victoria land in the Himalayas. It's about 18. Well, we really don't know what year it is.
There's a gun.
There's guns have existed for, well, in some form or fashion for centuries.
This is a fairly modern gun. 1800s gun.
Well, you're right. 1930s?
It wasn't it was like a bullet they invented.
Well, wait,
It wasn't just like a...
No, but I'm guessing... Okay, hold on.
Because when
Let's
Trevor shot at Padma Sambavari, he had the spent bullet.
Yeah.
So it's not like a ball.
Okay, well, yeah, it's a proper bullet.
Yeah.
Alright, let's say approximately 1900, because it was somewhere about 20 or 30 years on either side of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's approximately 1900. And the doctor's like, we gotta find this Gunther thing. And it's a bell.
Yeah.
And they're looking through trunks and stuff, and they find the bell, the Gunther.
What was the thing they found before the bell?
We never know.
You never know.
I
I feel like he doesn't even know what it is.
No, I would love to see that thing recreated for the modern show and
Call
go,
it a thingy.
oh yeah, this is this awesome thing I've got to do something with, and go, I haven't seen that in centuries, and because he wouldn't have. But
What if they do that in the modern, and then he just throws it over his shoulder again? And
that would be hilarious. It would be a joke that nobody except us, just the super diehard fans would get. So anyway, yeah, the doctor's looking for this bell, and he finds this weird wind chimey looking thing with these weird bells on it, and he goes, oh, well, I'm glad I've seen that. I haven't seen that in forever. Chunks it over his shoulder. But they find the bell, the Gunther, and the doctor's like, well, I need to go down to the monastery. You two stay here. So he heads down to the monastery to give them back the bell. And even before this, there's a couple of men camping out on the mountain, and one of them gets dragged away and killed. Children's show.
This is off screen. You didn't see.
Well, no, but the doctor does find the corpse.
Yeah.
Right. Children's show.
Children's show.
Yeah.
Too violent for Australia.
Yeah. We started a drinking game where every time there's a clip in there because it was edited out because it was too violent for Australia. On the reconstructions, we take a drink.
We had to start that because the doctor doesn't play his recorder as much.
Right. He does a couple times, so we can take a shot or a sip for that.
He needed something else to drink too.
Okay, so the doctor goes down to the monastery called Genthin.
It started with a D.
Denton or something?
Denton.
Denton
Monastery.
Denton Monastery. Oh my gosh, Denton, Texas. All right, so the doctor goes down there, and they're like, he found the campsite where the guy was dead, and he found a pouch from that campsite. Mm-hmm. And so he picks it up, and so he goes to the monastery, and when he gets there, there's a guy named Travers who's an English seeker. And he's seeking expeditionary.
Expeditionist. Expediter.
Expeditionary, I would think would be the word. Anyway, I don't think expeditionist would translate the way you wanted to. So he's looking for the Yeti, the real Yeti. Anyway, so.
And his dead companion.
Yeah, his dead companion. So then the doctor goes down there, and he gets to the monastery.
The doctor wearing a fur coat.
Yeah, nice fur coat too.
Nice fur coat.
So,
no one ever came by to throw red paint on it.
Nor should they. If I had the money and somebody threw red, and I was wearing fur and somebody threw the red paint on my fur, I'd be sort of like, thank you. You just killed 8 more animals because I'm just going to replace this. Blame yourself, not me. It's you. I hate that crap. Don't destroy somebody else's property just because you disagree with their choices, you know?
I mean, you're putting the animals to good use.
Yeah. Yeah, just like the American Indians. They used every single part of the buffalo. Put it all to good use. If we're going to kill it for food anyway, might as well use it for leather or, wool or what have you. So anyway, the doctor gets to the monastery. I think this episode's going to be longer than the show. Alright, the doctor gets to the monastery, and Travers sees the rucksack, the little bag, the poke that the doctor's holding. A poke is a small bag.
Why did the doctor take it?
That was really hard to tell in the reconstruction. I think he was wanting to use it to show, hey, this guy's dead, do you know anything about this? Like a clue. That's the only thing that really makes sense. That or a plot device. So, the doctor's got the poke. Yeah.
MacGuffin.
So the doctor has the poke, and Travers jumps to conclusions and assumes it was the doctor that attacked and killed his partner, which is very specious because the doctor is a smaller individual. This version of the doctor, he's like specious.
Suspicious.
It kind of is close to suspicious, but specious. What's another word?
That's when you just really hate one kind of species.
No.
Man, I hate orcs.
No.
All orcs must die.
No, species doesn't quite mean that. It's spurious logic.
Jumps.
Questionable. Right. Anyway, so Travers, even though the doctor's a smaller guy, and the doctor brings us up, do you think I could have dragged this guy away and killed him against his will? Because the doctor's wearing a fur coat, Travers assumes that the Yeti are quiet, timid creatures.
I mean,
because they always had been. And so he doesn't think that they could drag his partner away and kill him.
To be fair, even Jamie mistook the doctor for a big hairy beastie.
Hairy beastie.
TARDIS's
Scanner. True, for a moment. But, so Travers convinces the monks who live in the monastery, most of which are incredibly peaceful, but there are a group of warrior monks, like D&D monks, with, who use karate chops and...
strong enough to kill a man.
Yes, just like in D&D, and staves. They use staves.
Which has got to be just one of the worst weapons.
Have you ever fought with a staff?
Yeah, but if you just put a point on it, it's a spear, way deadlier.
Yes and no.
See, like a stave is just a blunt object.
A staff, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But
a spear is a hybrid of both a blunt object and a piercing one.
That's true, but okay.
So I just think spears are way better.
I used to play Amp Guard, right?
What?
Okay, it's a live action role playing game. Okay, but if you take a staff and you've got your hand on one end and you're holding it like, not only can you fight it like this, right? Which is really awesome for blocking and hitting and stuff.
Yes.
But you can take it and you can put your hand here and you can hold people at bay. And if they come and you thrust it into their chest, it friggin' hurts, and you will get the wind knocked out of you and possibly break your sternum.
Opposed to hurting, you put a point on it, and then they're just dead.
Well, no, but you can also whip it around and crack their ribs, crack their skull, whereas the point would not quite hurt as hard as if a solid edge. Also, it makes a good walking stick.
I'm not convinced.
Okay.
All those things are better with a blade on it. Whip around.
Okay, a glaive. Okay. Many times, yes, but a staff is a really good weapon in the right hands.
All right. Almost as good as a spear.
No. Okay. In the right hands, it's better than a spear. Because a spear is designed to be lighter for throwing. And the staff is designed to be more solid and thick.
Oh, why can't you just put a tip on it?
That's not their way. Okay. Besides, it's a good bludgeoning weapon if you don't want to do critical damage. And these are peaceful monks, relatively speaking.
That's a good point.
Mm.
Is crowd control.
Well, it's not a good point.
That's a good blunt.
That's a good blunt. Oh, man. And we're Blunt Man and Chronic, right? Have you seen those movies? No.
I've seen Silent Bob and...
Wait, did you come with me to see that Jane Silent Bob reboot?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then did I show you Clerks?
I saw Clerks on TV.
Okay. So, Blunt Man and Chronic are in, very specifically, Jane Silent Bob Strike Back and Jane Silent Bob Reboot.
Harold and Kumar. Gosh. Who are the two guys that get really high?
Cheech and Chong.
Cheech and Chong, there you go.
Okay. You know, Chong has a doctorate
I did not know that.
from, I believe, Harvard
Wow.
in linguistics, I think, or English or something. He's got this amazingly high degree, and he played this really big stoner.
I found out the other day that 2 Chainz went to college, graduated a year early with a 4.0 GPA.
Who?
2 Chainz, he's a rapper.
He's a crapper?
A rapper, yeah.
That's what I said. Rap has a silent C in
So
front.
you want to think someone who has like really dumbed down lyrics, like Big Booties would have a 4.0, graduated college a year early kind of.
I think it was someone who said you will never go broke playing to the lowest denominator. Was that P.T. Barnum? I'm not sure. Anyway.
We just lost all of our rap fans.
Like we have any rap? I have no idea. But if you can't take criticism yourself, you really, really, really need to get a better perspective. Because
defend your point of view in the comments below.
We've had one comment in 38 episodes.
Well, if we upset you, you just let us know.
Hi, 2 Chainz. You can post a comment.
Mr. 2 Chainz, with your 4.0 GPA, please go to our comment section, have a rational discussion, and make points and arguments, and we'll be quick to reply. Your music's crap.
I always wanted to see trading cards for rappers, and I wanted common to be a rare. And I would love, if I ever got married again for some weird reason, have Usher as my usher.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I know. Okay, where the hell were we? Oh, did I tell you I bumped into Snoop Dogg one day?
No!
I'm in New Orleans at Mardi Gras. Born and raised, New Orleans, that's me.
Place to meet Snoop Dogg.
Right, and I'm going down the stairs and at this club, this bar place, right? Because New Orleans is full of them. And this guy I recognize for some weird reason is going up, and there's a film crew following him. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then I get to the bottom of the stairs, I'm like, that was Snoop Dogg. Oh, and this is during the Girls Gone Wild phase. 17 years ago? 16, 17 years ago. And I'm like, they're here in Mardi Gras in New Orleans for the Girls Gone Wild, trying to get the women to expose their breasts to them or whatever. And I'm like, that makes sense.
Who wouldn't flash?
Right. So I didn't shake his hand or meet him or anything.
I didn't ask you what was crack-a-lacking?
Right. No, I know, not at all. But I bumped into him basically.
Did you get a contact high from being in that close up person?
I don't know. I was fairly drunk.
Did you get crossfaded?
Yeah, I was fairly drunk. But no. And I told you I shared an elevator ride with Weird Al, right?
I think I heard that story.
Just the two of us.
Which is great.
Yeah, he ran into the elevator, and I'm like, I was there to see his concert in Biloxi, Mississippi. Biloxi, Mississippi in 03, 04. And he had just shaved the mustache.
Oh.
So I didn't recognize it. Well, I recognized him,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't believe it was him because he just had the mustache. And he always had the mustache.
Mm.
And I looked at him and I go, you know, you look exactly like Weird Al. And he goes, I get that a lot. And I'm like, okay, cool. And you know, I'm literally there for the concert. And then the next night is the concert. And I see him and he doesn't have the mustache. I'm like, that was him! It was so funny. Oh, man. Anyway. Okay, we're in the monastery.
We are in the
So this is going to be a chaotic episode, I can tell. Alright, so we're in the monastery. Travers is convinced, spuriously, that the doctor killed his partner.
Speciously.
Speciously.
Suspiciously.
That the doctor killed his partner. So he convinces the monks, who apparently know him really well over maybe a decade or so, to lock up the doctor. Amongst the monks is the head of the head of the warriors.
Amongst the monks.
Amongst the monks is the head of the warriors. Monks. You know what his name now?
Was Kreesong a bad guy?
Krisa? He's really misguided. I wouldn't. By the end, he comes around.
Yeah.
So Kreesong, S-O-N-G, K-R-E-S-O-N-G. Kreesong, the head of the warrior monks, locks up the doctor. In the meantime, Jamie and Victoria, specifically Victoria, get bored in the TARDIS, and she wants to go outside. Jamie doesn't want to, but he's not going to let her go alone, and he's not going to restrain her, so he goes with her.
Mm-hmm.
They find a cave, and in the cave, they find a whole bunch of big spheres that kind of look like a roller ball, if you've ever seen that movie. About yay big and then spherical and metallic. And Jamie takes one. And while they're in there, a Yeti approaches the cave and starts to attack them. And this is where the episode ends, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So skip over to episode 2. Jamie grabs a log, a small log, and the cave has, for some strange reason, like it was mined some time ago, has a wooden plank or column holding up
Support
part
beam.
of the roof, a support beam. And so Jamie knocks out the support beam, and a whole bunch of rocks, and not quite boulders, but large rocks, fall and land on the Yeti and knock it unconscious. Jamie believes it's dead because those rocks would have killed anything. But Victoria sees the hand move, and then Jamie sees it, and so they run out, and the Yeti starts pulling itself out of the rubble. Then they are running, and Jamie's like, we need to get back to the TARDIS this way. And episode 2 is the one that exists, so he literally goes this way, and Victoria's like, no, we need to go to the monastery and warn the doctor. So they run down to the monastery, and
They run into Travers.
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 Is it Travers?
Travers.
They run into Travers.
Is played by Victoria's dad.
Well, yeah, the actress who plays Victoria, and her father's the one playing Travers. It's not Victoria's father is Travers. It's the actress's father is playing Travers. Because Victoria's father in the show is dead.
And it's Travers' conversation with Jamie and Victoria that finally convinces Travers that it wasn't the doctor that killed his companion.
Correct.
Because they're not a part of press like he thought they were.
Right. He thought they were. Yeah, he thought the doctor was part of the press, searching to get a headline because he'd gotten a whiff that Travers was looking for the Yeti, the Abominable Snowmen. Sasquatch.
They make a shaky deal that if Travers helps them to the monastery, Jamie will show Travers the cave that he found with the Yetis, because that's what Travers is looking for.
Right, because Jamie and Victoria bumped into it. So Travers takes them to the monastery. In the meantime,
Denton, Texas monastery.
The Denton, Texas monastery. All right. In the meantime, what's his name?
Which one?
The warrior guy.
Oh, Creasong?
Creasong.
One
Creasong.
with the mustache.
Yeah,
The
oh
Fu
man.
Manchu.
Yeah, he's got the Fu Manchu mustache. By the way,
What if I do that?
by the way,
Shave.
nice beard you're growing.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
need some trimming.
I shaved mine off as a whim for some reason just before
It's
Ren
not
Fair.
even Valentine's Day.
Yeah, just as a whim, and I mostly kept it shaven since, and I'll probably keep it shaven through Valentine's Day.
The stubble looks nice.
But
The stubble look. Is
yeah, but I've just been too busy to shave lately.
That's good.
Yeah, I may like grow a little bit and then shave it again for Christmas and then shave it again for St. Valentine's Day.
Once a holiday.
Yeah, it's holiday. But Christmas is in like 2 weeks, so I've just been busy lately. All right. So anyway,
Did I tell you about how I went back and we're watching the podcast videos to catalog my beard growth over the weeks? And that first one was real painful to look at. Where it's all patchy and stubbly. I was going backwards. I'm like, that's not bad. I see how it's lighter. I'm like, oh, that one's lighter. Yeah. And they don't look bad. And then I click on the first one where I didn't shave for a week. I'm like, whoa, that looks real bad. It's just patches all
I guess
splashy.
you go through and catalog our beards and our weight loss and gain.
Well, mine's been pretty stagnant. It's been in one direction.
Mine goes up and down. The fat Oprah, skinny Oprah, fat Hatter, skinny Hatter, fat Hatter. But no, so let's see. Can I have some of the Fireball?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wait.
Yourself.
Oh, it's not as good as the Magma Flame.
It's so good though.
I know, but they're so syrupy.
Well, you put some Coke in it. You can't.
I'll see. I'll just go to the room.
Okay.
All right. Hey. So anyway, in the meantime, Creasong has decided to use the Doctor as bait with the old witches thing.
I keep wanting to buy Magna Flame, but I'm never at Doc's.
It's kind of a Doc's exclusive.
I've been stopping at Ravi's Liquor on the way. It's
Oh, the one on University.
University because
Yeah.
I'm at Sarah's. I go there and I'll come up to your house.
I like Ravi's Liquor. They've got the
You gave me the little chocolate.
yeah, they've got the daiquiris.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, which is really cool.
They have a bar in Austin, I think, called the Daiquiri Factory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on my bucket list. I want to go to the Daiquiri Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to go there last time I was in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I don't remember why.
Yeah. Oh crap!
We're busy visiting the Capitol building and stuff.
I forgot to turn off my phone. Is your phone off?
So off.
Okay, good. I forgot to turn my power off. Turn off my phone.
This is our phone jail.
Yeah, we don't like our phones under this. Okay, bye phone.
At work, they sell an actual phone jail. It's a little prison you put all your phones in for
Oh, that'd be cool.
family dinners and stuff.
I like that. And where's this?
A Home Goods.
Home Goods. I gotta get one of those.
Oh. I'll get you 10% off.
Okay, so in the meantime, Creasong has decided to use the old witches thing to determine if the Doctor's innocent or guilty of killing Travis's partner, which is he's going to put the Doctor out, tie him up. He's tied up on the outside of the monastery. If the Yeti come and kill him, then the Doctor's innocent because he's out working with the Yeti. If the Yeti come and rescue him, then the Doctor's guilty and they'll kill him. So it's kind of thing with the witches. If they sink and die and they're innocent, if they float, they're guilty, but no one ever floated and they'd be killed anyway.
People didn't float back then?
Huh?
People couldn't float on their backs back then?
Well, only in certain waters like the Dead Sea.
Very salty. I could never float on my back. Because, I don't know, my level of buoyancy is like
About 6 inches
a
below
good
the
few
water.
inches under the surface of the water. But then I moved to Salt Lake City, Utah. I visited Salt Lake. There's so much salt in it. It's super easy to float on your back, which was just a really cool experience for me.
You know why the Dead Sea and Salt Lake are so salty?
I don't know.
They're part of the waters of the deep that came up during the flood. Okay, so way back when, all the waters were fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
And then the waters of the deep were salt water. and they exploded out and caused the continents to separate and move out, and then
Pangea.
well, yeah, and then everything buckled. Okay, so when the continents finally, dropped down and hit the
Plates.
The plates. The plates don't subduct the way they think they do, but the plates hit. You had a buckling on the eastern side, which became the Himalayas, which is what we're talking about, right? And you have settling still in Japan, okay? Well, the earthquakes in Japan.
In California.
On the western side, right, it buckled when the plate hit and became the Rocky Mountains. And you still have all the settling in California. Exactly the opposite of the other side, which was Japan and the Himalayas, the Rocky Mountains. And the waters of the deep were super, super, super salt water. And so a lot of them rested in certain places when it all settled down, which was Salt Lake, and even more so the Dead Sea. And today, in a few places, they've drilled down as far as they can drill, 20 or 30 miles. We've done this a couple times in Russia and a few other places. And you know what they find?
Salt water.
Super, super salty water. It's just proving what happened in the Bible.
Why is that water so salty?
And because it was necessary for it to be salty to help keep the continents above it. Okay? For the buoyancy, all the continents. And that's the way God designed it. But seriously, when they dig down that far, 20, 30, it's either miles or kilometers, I forget. That's what they run into, is super, super, super salty water. The waters of the deep.
Do you subscribe to that theory that the earth is hollow? Like a hollow earth, and there's just like water inside of it?
No, but for Bad Movie last night we watched
Journey to the Center of the Earth?
No, Iron Sky. And next week we're going to watch Iron Sky 2, Coming Race, in which they have a hollow earth scenario. You know why I know the earth is not hollow?
Why?
Well, because when the continents separated, okay, so what do you get? You get all this stuff going up. So what do you have on the other side?
What?
Well, a vacuum, right?
Okay.
So everything's going to go in. Okay, that's the sand. That's the what's it called? The Marianas Trench. When all this went up and you had the pressure relieved, and so like with a Coke bottle, it crumples in. That's the Marianas Trench in the other side in the Pacific. And so the stuff in the middle, there's going to be something there. I mean, be it magma or be it water, or be it something. But there's be it whatever it is, there's something in the middle.
Have you seen the new Godzilla movie?
Which one? The one with the kid from Stranger Things?
The one they just made. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's got the girl from Stranger Things 11.
That the Earth is hollow and filled with water, and that's how Godzilla would get around. So you go through these.
In theory, that's possible, but highly unlikely. More likely, it's filled with some sort of heated core that helps the volcanoes happen.
That's just a theory.
Yeah,
we don't know.
We've never been there.
It fascinates me that all of or much of our science and observation of things we've never really, like the center of the Earth and like space, when they observe black holes, they're like, well, this is this because of this, but they don't really know. They're like, here's a planet that's way over here, and it has this atmosphere, and it's like,
try this. It's much better without the.
I've tried it.
Right, try it. It's much better without the. What did we put in it?
Apple cider.
Apple cider. It's much better without the apple cider. It's potent, but it's much better without the apple cider.
Ooh, too strong for me.
100 proof. Well, you don't even drink the 60 proof straight. But
I could take shots.
You could, but Fireball's so syrupy. Anyway. Okay, so we're in episode 2, the one that exists. Okay, so.
Yeah, I'll go to the men's room.
Okay.
Stop interrupting you for
a minute. All right. So the doctor is tied up outside the monastery, and they're doing the thing. Well, if the Yeti come and rescue you, you're evil. If the Yeti come and kill you, you're okay. But we'll try to save you before they kill you. And the doctor's like, take me down, please. Oh, and in the meantime, he told one of the good guys, Thomney, I think, he said, hey, you seem like a reasonable chap because you're asking questions about why they're tying me up. Look in the straw in the prison cell you put me in because there's something there. Thomney goes and looks, and he finds the Gunther. And he's like, this was the Gunther that was taken from our monastery over 300 years ago. Oh my gosh. And he takes it to the abbot of the monastery. And the abbot's like, this is the Gunther that was taken from us 300 years ago. Oh my gosh. So the abbot takes Thomney into the inner sanctum, the Holy of Holies, essentially, the inner sanctum, and he talks to Padmasambhava. And Padmasambhava has great abilities of hypnotism. And he says, hey, tell them to treat the doctor well. Tell them that everything's okay. Tell them to give him all the leeway he wants, that he's an honored guest, he and his companions. And the abbot said this. You never talked to me, you were never here. The abbot said this. So Thomney goes off to do this. And then, in the meantime, Travers and Jamie and Victoria show up, and they rush to save the doctor because the doctor's tied up. And the doctor's like, go away, it's a trap. And then the warriors rush out to collect them all. And Travers is like, no, I was mistaken. He's not the bad guy. He's a good guy. I'm sorry. He didn't kill my friend. They're not from the press. It's okay. And the warriors take them all inside. Right about then, they're looking at, not necessarily Travers suspiciously, but the other three, the Dr. Jamie and Victoria, super suspiciously. And Thomney shows up and says, hey, the abbot says this. They return to Gunther. They're awesome. Don't mess with them. And the warrior guy, Kirsong, releases them and shows them new and avowed respect. And the doctor's like, why didn't you tell us this before? And the doctor's like, well, I showed up, you accused me of murder. I mean, if you were not in the mood to hear how I obtained this bell, this Gunther, so we're good now? And they're like, yeah. So then the doctor's like, okay, so tell me about the Yeti. What's going on? Why are they attacking? Why is all this happening? And they all tell him, hey, well, this is what's happening. And Jamie shows the doctor the sphere, the metal sphere. And the doctor looks at it and says, this is interesting. Sets it down near a Buddhist statue, a really 10-foot tall Buddhist statue. They're in a monastery in Tibet, in the Himalayas. Come in. Oh, and by the way, as a small note, this was the early 60s, Tibet, before the Chinese conquered Tibet and took it over and made it a province of China. In the
Early
late
60s.
Right. Actually we're in 67. This is literally, I believe, just before China conquered Tibet. They're the only people China's ever really beaten in a war, and they were absolute pacifists. So, China lost wars to Britain, to the Dutch, to Japan if we hadn't intervened, to the Mongols, to Portugal. The only people they've ever beaten are the Koreans and the Tibetans. The Tibetans were absolute pacifists.
Now they're one of the most largest, most terrifying superpowers in the...
Okay. they're only
I feel like
feared.
if they hit puberty.
No, they're only feared because they have a bunch of soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
but the soldiers are like stormtroopers. They're not very good, and because they have nuclear weapons. But you know how they got the nuclear weapons? For a long time, they were friends with Russia. Okay, back during the Stalin days.
Cold War.
Cold War.
War,
And then eventually, and in fact, Russia built several of the bridges in China after the Communist Revolution in China. And I was living in Wuhan, remember, in '99, Wuhan, China. And there was a bridge there, I think the Friendship Bridge or something, and it was built by the Russians. Because the Chinese lost so much of their knowledge, because during the Cultural Revolution, they burned all their books. They killed their professors. They destroyed anybody with any knowledge, which was insane. So when the Russians pulled out...
Does that mean that bronze does beat brains?
In the short term, yes. All right. In the long term, no. All right. That's why the nerds in high school who were beat up by the jocks are now the jocks' bosses later on, you know? But the Russians and the Chinese liked each other, and then they came to a head. And the Russians said, okay, we don't like you anymore, even though you're our communist brothers. They pulled out. They shredded all their documents, including how to make nuclear weapons. The Chinese, what did they have? No brains, but they had manpower. So they put together the shredded documents over the course of a decade and figured out how to make nuclear weapons off the shredded documents. It's like, wow. That's the only reason they have them. So the Chinese, they have manpower, they have nuclear weapons, but they don't win wars. They do not.
We just lost all our Chinese subscribers.
We have no.
Because
we probably have no Chinese subscribers.
Because they censored the internet.
That's true.
We just got put on a blacklist.
The Great Wall. They call it the Great Wall of China. Anyway.
Chinese firewall. Internet.
The Great Firewall of China. Anyway.
Between pumpkin pie, apple cider, bag of Skittles.
Oh, it's a little Halloween Skittles.
Alcohol, chocolate, and Coke. My stomach's getting quite upset.
Is that why you went to the restroom?
Well, it's gassy while I was in there. It's angry. It's angry at me. It's like, what am I gonna do with all this crap you're putting?
This is gonna be a long episode.
Okay,
if that red light goes off, you talk too long, okay? It's 2.5 hours. All right.
Welcome to the Abominable Snowmen Part 2.
No. I think we're on episode. But we might be on episode 3.
We'll have to film the podcast in 2 parts because our battery will die.
I can't get a longer battery. I seriously can't.
Recharge it.
I tried. There's no longer battery.
We'll have to recharge it. And
I can plug it in, but we get that stupid humming we had the first episode.
Well, the battery will die. We'll then plug it in, charge it, and then hit record again.
This is like Alice's restaurant. You're just trying to make it longer, aren't you?
What's Alice's restaurant? You're the one that
Alright.
has all these segues.
Alright. Have you ever listened to Alice's Restaurant Massacre?
No.
With full orchestration and 5-part harmony?
No.
I will play you that. Oh, we just passed Thanksgiving. It takes place on Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Ooh, and I didn't play it on Thanksgiving. I usually do. I didn't this year. Alright. Ooh, I'll play it when we celebrate Thanksgiving. Alright. Alright. Anyway, so there's 30 years, it takes place in 1968. Or 67. 30 years later, there's Alice's Restaurant Massacre Revisited. Yeah. And the original song is 18 minutes and 20 seconds. The revisited one is like 24 minutes. But during the revisited one, he's like, I'm not trying to make the song any longer. I know how long this song is. But it's kind of a redo with added material.
Oh, okay. Which would be our part 2 of the podcast.
God. Okay. I will play you Alice's Restaurant.
I don't have the time.
Not if you keep doing this.
I'm on a tight schedule here.
No, you're not. Not with this podcast. Okay. So, now the Doctor and Victoria and Jamie more or less have run of the place, except for the inner sanctum. And they're trying to help with the Yeti. So a Yeti shows up, and Jamie's like, "Hey, I've got a bright idea on how to capture it." That's Irish. That's Scottish. That's not even good Irish. Jamie's like, "Hey, I've got a bright idea on how to capture it." The Doctor and Jamie run away.
Are you still on episode 2?
I think so.
What have you been talking about while I was gone?
Episode 2. All right. The Doctor and Victoria run away. Jamie helps him capture the Yeti with a net trap. And they're fighting the Yeti. They're beating it with the sticks, and apparently they knock out the Yeti's control ball, which is the roller ball, like I said from earlier. After the Yeti is dead, they bring it inside, and you see the control ball kind of crawling away in the dirt. The Doctor, now we're on to episode 3, I think.
Yes.
And you see the control ball that the Doctor examined earlier and set down. You see it moving away at the end of episode 2. So in episode 3, the Doctor realizes the Yeti is a mechanical being made of metal, covered in fur, a robot, not flesh and blood. And most of the monks are very surprised by this, you know? Ooh, actually, I think this takes place in the 1930s. Okay, this date, 67, was just before the China took control of Tibet. But I think the episode takes place in the 30s, which was decades before that. Because in the next one with the Yetis, we get Travers again. But he's about 30 years older.
Oh.
He's in the 60s.
Cool.
And it's current day. Okay, so I think it's in the 1930s. So they figure out some metal robot machine, and...
Unless Travers is also a time traveler.
No. So...
Well, he's Victoria's dad, and we know that Victoria's dad was
No,
on time travel.
the actor is the father of the actress that is Victoria.
He was working on time travel.
No, Victoria, the character's father, was working on time travel. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Hey.
1930s.
Yeah, I think this is about the 30s. Barely pre-World War II. Probably like 36 or so. Alright. They never give an exact date. So anyway, they discover it's metal, and then they figure out, partly thanks to Victoria, that, hey, the sphere would fit here. And they go off looking for the sphere. They can't find it because the sphere is actually moving on its own, running around the place. So then they decide they need to go outside to find the sphere that they...
to the worst guard ever.
Oh my gosh. The guards in this episode are horrible.
Ralpachin.
Alright, all the guards in here. Tumley?
Who?
Tomley?
Oh, Creasel?
No.
Ralpachin? Oh, Tomley
And Ralpachin. These monks are the worst guards ever. Because like, hey, no one's supposed to leave. Oh, he said you could leave? I'll take your word on it. You can go, yeah. Or, hey, you're telling me to go away? I'll go away. Or, hey, I'm guarding you, but you need food? I'll go get you food while you run off. Yeah, all the guards in here are horrible.
They don't even put points on their spears. They just carry around the handles.
It's called staff. Okay. Have you ever read The Wheel of Time?
Like, I got through the first book.
Mm-hmm. The Eye of the World.
But it was big books with tiny little letters. And
yeah. And there's 14 of them.
Yeah. And, like a prequel.
One prequel,
One prequel. I also read the prequel.
Okay, but you've only read one novel.
Yes.
Okay. So later on in the books, there's an example where the greatest warrior of all time was only beaten once. It was by a farmer with a staff.
That's crap.
Seriously, a staff is a good weapon if you know how to use it. Alright.
Almost as good as a spear.
And Matrim Cawthorn beats two amazing warriors with the staff in one of the scenes. Is good.
Who?
Matrim. The lucky guy? Oh, you only read the first book. Remember the three were Perrin?
I remember Perrin.
Matrim.
Okay.
Perrin was the wolf guy.
Mm-hmm.
Matrim was the lucky guy, and what was the name of the main guy?
Oh.
Seriously, the main dude. I can't remember his name. For the life of me, I can't remember his name right now. I haven't read those books in a while, but anyway.
I just want to get them on audio.
Yeah, that'd be
it's so much easier.
Big flash drive. Anyway,
I started listening to the Bane trilogy on audio. It's so good.
Bane trilogy?
Yeah, it's a Star Wars book. 3.
Wait. Bane's the bad guy in Dark Knight Returns.
This is Darth Bane from Star Wars.
Darth Bane?
Yes. And it's super good. No, you'd like it. It's a good book series.
I don't like Star Wars.
No, I think you'd love it though.
No, I'm sick of Disney taking over everything I love and
Disney.
killing it.
This is before Disney.
I know, but still.
Years old.
I love The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Rumor is they're killing it after the next season.
But you can watch it on Disney Plus.
I'm not giving Disney money to watch it on Disney Plus. I already own all the DVDs and I own it on Amazon, and I'm not giving Disney any stinking money if I can help it. They're killing Marvel. They killed Star Wars, and they're trying to kill The Simpsons.
Yeah, you do.
I just want them to die and break up or get under some decent leadership or something. Their SJW Warrior crap is stupid. Anyway. So, we are on... Okay, so, worst guards ever. So, who's the main guardy guy? The warrior? Creason. So he says, you will be guard. Okay, don't let anyone in or out, because the Yeti are there and we have to protect everybody. So, the doctor's like, hey, we need to go out and try and save the good Yeti. And he's like, no. And then Travers goes up to the guard and says, hey, he said I could go. Can I go? And the guard's like, sure. Without checking. So Travers leaves and he goes to look at the Yeti. In the meantime, the doctor and them are all in the monastery. Travers follows the Yeti, follows them to the cave, and what's the name of that guy? Songston,
the abbot.
Right, Songston, the abbot, hypnotizes the guard. You will let me out, and you will not remember any of this. And you will wake up once I have closed the gate. And then he leaves. And like I said, worst guard ever. So Songston goes to the cave with a glass pyramid, crystal pyramid, and puts the pyramid in the middle of those metallic spheres. And the Yeti are following him and protecting him and listening to him. So obviously the abbot of the monastery, who we've shown is listening to orders from Padmasambhava. Yeah, that. He's taking his orders from him in the trance-like state. And the guy talks in two separate voices.
Like Smeagol.
Yeah. One is very calm and reassuring, and the other one is...
Like Smeagol.
Right, and the other one is very asp-like, very snake-like, sneaky and yeah, really affectatious. No, not affectatious. Affectatious means good in the situation. It's very Slytherin-like or whatever. Anyway, so So he's being a puppet, songster. Songston is being a puppet of Padmasambhava. And he goes and leaves the Yeti, and he puts the pyramid down, and he starts leading the Yeti back. Meantime, Travers is watching him.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor's trying to figure out what's going on, and Victoria keeps trying to get into the Holy of Holies because she's curiosity incarnate or something. Eventually she manages to, by tricking, once again, the worst guards in the world. Hi, I'm hungry. I'd like food. Well, if you promise not to do anything, I won't lock the door. Okay. And the guard goes and gets food. And then she runs off and tries to go to the Holy of Holies. Where she goes in, she bumps into Padmasambhava. He hypnotizes her because apparently he has these powers, just like the doctor.
Well, first she goes she leaves the room that she's supposed to be guarded in.
Mm-hmm. Or the cell.
Into the room where the dead Yeti is.
No, that's afterwards.
Oh.
She meets Padmasambhava.
Oh, okay.
And he tells her to go away. You shouldn't be here. That if they find you, they catch you, it'll be really bad. First of all, it's the only woman in an all-male monastery. Second of all, nobody's supposed to go into this room. So he tells her to go away. She actually listens to him.
Because she's hypnotized.
Right. Well, partly, mostly because she's hypnotized. She goes to the room with the Yeti. In the meantime, the little sphere is looking around, trying to get to the Yeti, because there's control to the Yeti, and it's kind of a homes in, and eventually gets up to the Yeti's chest and goes in and goes, and the Yeti wakes up, and he breaks his bonds, including the spirit shield that they put around him. Spirit cage. And breaks all the metal chains because it's super strong. And it wakes up, and that's where the episode ends, right? Mm-hmm. So we go to episode 4. In episode 4, she's screaming. They figure out where she is because she had run away. And the Yeti's trying to break out and get out of the monastery. Mm-hmm. And they're all trying to beat on it with their staves and they're not having much effect, and it eventually breaks out through the front gate.
Stave not having much effect.
Correct, because they didn't hit the ball, knock the ball.
Only it had a pointed in.
And remember, in the meantime, the main guard guy, Cresson, had tried to go outside to find the ball, and he did, and 2 Yeti came and took it from him. Mm-hmm. So that Yeti leaves. Cresson was temporarily injured, and then Travers makes it back and collapses in there because he got to the cave where Songston had put the pyramid and all the pulsating light and everything with the spheroid balls, and he becomes overcome with the waves of energy and drives him nearly mad. He's nearly demented, I think it's and then he makes his way back and he's nigh raving in front of the doctor and everybody, telling who did what and how, and they put him to bed. In the meantime, Victoria makes her way back to Padmasambhava, and
by tricking the awful guards once again.
Oh my god. Worst guards ever.
This food is poison.
Oh god. Yeah, she gets some water. She drinks the water. Oh, the water tastes funny. Oh. And they go off to get some real water and some bandages. She wakes up and goes, sorry, runs out and locks the other guard in. I mean, worst guards ever. So she goes back. She gets hypnotized by this guy again to only respond to the doctor's voice.
Yes. And
to tell him, Doctor, there's danger here.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. Exactly. You must take me away. You must take me away. And every time the doctor speaks, she responds to that voice, says the exact same thing over and over again. So the doctor and Jamie are whispering, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the meantime, you see that Padmasambhava is moving Yeti pieces on a board in front of him with his claw hands. As he moves the Yeti pieces, they do his bidding. And they're actually moving to where he wants them to go and doing what he wants them to do. So his Yeti chess pieces are literally how he controls them. But at the same time, he's being controlled. And you don't know by who. But he mentions to Victoria the great intelligence. That there is a great intelligence out there. And you can tell he's kind of in control of himself at that moment because of the way he's talking. So he, in his astral projection, bumped into a great intelligence in the universe. The great intelligence controlled him and decided to keep control of him and keep him alive for 300 years.
It went from 200 to 300.
Well, they said over 200, and then we basically gained 300. Well, seriously, the bell was lost over 200 years ago. Which, if he was 60 and the bell was lost then, it's over 200 years. But he could be 300 when it returns. So, the great intelligence mostly controls him as a marionette, a puppet. Except occasionally he can break through. Think Being John Malkovich. Have you seen that movie?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Hey, write that on the list. Being John Malkovich.
Being
John Malkovich.
John
Malkovich. It's a weird movie, but it's good. It's not as good as most of the other movies on the list, but it's still good. What was the other one I told you tonight?
The Knowing.
The Knowing. Once again, not as good as the other movies on the list, but it's interesting and fun. So, alright, so he most of the time doesn't have control of himself. The great intelligence does. Has been using him as a puppet to control the Yeti and to create all this stuff on Earth. And in turn, the great intelligence controls him. He controls the abbot. The abbot tells everybody what to do, and they do his bidding. And the great intelligence starts, thanks to the glass crystal pyramid on the mountain, starts seeping out of the mountain as a kind of lava-esque flow, which Tavers and Rasputin, or what is that guy?
Rasputin.
Not Rasputin. Raputin. Try to stop, but they figure out they can't. We are in episode 5, almost 6 now. They try to stop it, they figure out they can't stop it, they go back to the monastery. In the meantime, the monks are literally leaving. They're going their own way, abandoning the monastery at the behest of the abbot, who's being controlled by Padmasambhava, who's being controlled by the great intelligence. He says, leave, we can't beat the Yeti, and the Yeti are coming in, they're going to destroy you. While at the same time, it's actually great intelligence trying to take over the entire mountain and valley for himself. And the doctor stays with his companions and Travers and, what's his name, Rasputin?
Raputin?
Raputin. Yeah, Raputin. And and the Yeti had come in and killed yet another priest. Rinchen. Yeah, by knocking over the Buddha statue in some...
Saipan was upset about Rinchen.
Yeah, well, I mean...
being squished by Buddha.
Well, not only that, but they knocked over the Buddha statue, and that's one of the objects of worship.
Saipan and Rinchen were like...
peas in a pod.
Real close buddies.
Yeah.
They made the spirit trap.
Yeah. So, so the doctor figures out that Padmasambhava is the same guy he knew from 300 years ago. He goes in to confront him, and
his face is like...
yeah, his face is all weird.
Coming apart.
Old. Hard to come across in the reconstructions, but it kind of does. And he's like, okay, you are not exactly the guy I knew.
Let me die.
Right. And he just wants to pass away. He just wants to die. He wants release from this mortal coil because he's been controlled and captured and kept alive by the Great Intelligence for so long. So the doctor goes in, and he had hypnotized the abbot to find out that there was a control panel for the Yeti behind the throne, behind the curtain. And so he tells Tommy and
Thomni.
Right, Tommy and Jamie to go in when he says to go in, and they rush in when he yells to rush in, and they destroy that. They go behind the curtain secret room and they destroy the controls. And the Yeti are coming for them, and the doctor figures out that the board and the pieces of the key as well, and he goes and he destroys them, and the Yeti shut down, and the monastery explodes. And
Along with the mountain.
the mountain doesn't quite explode, but the monastery does.
It erupts.
But everybody gets out okay. Taryn?
Which one?
Travers, as they all leave the monastery, they're like, hey monks, you can come back, fix the monastery, everything's good. You've got your bell now. Travers, then they see an actual Yeti after all the mechanical Yeti are destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And Travers is like, I'm going after that Yeti because that's what I've been here for the last decade. He goes chasing after the Yeti, and then Victoria, Jamie, and the doctor head off to the TARDIS.
Yes.
Okay.
Happily ever after.
Happily ever. Do you have any questions? Oh my gosh.
So there's a whole lot of backstory to this serial, as if it's a continuation or like a second part of the Yetis already. Like,
No, they're not in the Yetis already.
The doctor had been there before. He knew Padma Samovar. They told him to hold on to the bell.
Right.
For safe time. Why would they give the doctor the bell?
During the 1600s, apparently there was an attack on the monastery, and they gave it to the doctor for safekeeping. Padmasambhava gave it to the doctor for safekeeping, and he's returning it nearly 300 years later. Cool. What other questions do you have?
So the doctor talked about Padma Samovar as if he's an old friend.
Yeah, because he was kept alive for 300 years by the Great Intelligence. By the way, we do see the Great Intelligence again and the Yeti again in only 3 serials.
Oh.
Yeah, seriously. This is oops, 1 page too far. Alright. Yeah, this is the Abominable Snowmen. Then we get the Ice Warriors. Once again, not the Ice Soldiers, the Ice Warriors. The Enemy of the World, and the Web of Fear. And in the Web of Fear, 3 series from now, just 3 serials, same season, the Yeti come back and the Great Intelligence comes back.
We had a web serial before of like another Great Intelligence.
No, this is the Great Intelligence.
Like
Who shows up twice during the classic era, and who shows up once during the modern era, played by Richard E. Grant, who played the Doctor kind of in Scream of the Chakra when he was going to be the 9th Doctor, but then it wasn't because it was animated and they were doing it animated, but then we're going to do it regular and live action, and that kind of sucked for him. But he did get to play the Doctor live action in a Children in Need special in the 90s, along with about 4 other actors and then an actress.
The Web Planet.
Well, Planet, but this is Web of Fear.
What was the antagonist in that one?
The Web Planet.
Animus.
Right, Animus. With the ants, with the pincers and stuff, yeah.
So there is the Great Intelligence.
No, there was not the Great. This is the first episode, the first serial with the Great Intelligence. We'll have a couple of others, and Ice Warriors, Enemy of the World, whatever. Okay. Ice Warriors, most of the episodes exist. There's a couple animated, so it'll be mostly real. Enemy of the World, I think, is all real. The Enemy of the World and the Web of Fear was lost. They were completely missing. And then a guy found them, okay? And he found they're each 6 episodes. He found all of them in like Kenya or somewhere.
Cool.
And
what were they doing there?
Back in the 1980s, they used to... Okay. The British Empire controlled a lot of territory, including a lot of Africa.
Sun never sets.
On the British Empire, right. And
it
part of it
does
was...
now, though, right?
I'm not even sure if it does now. Even if you're just talking about Britain and not the Commonwealth, I'm not sure it even does even now. They still have a lot of places all over the world, little islands and stuff, right? So anyway, this guy found all the episodes of Enemy of the World and all 6 episodes of The Web of Fear in like Kenya. And he was setting them up to be brought back to the United Kingdom for transference onto video from film. And the second episode of The Web of Fear went missing. Somebody walked off with it. Which is sad because the very first episode of the Brigadier showing up. And you will see the Brigadier, you will love the Brigadier. He's awesome. He's a great Doctor Who companion. Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, and he shows up in only 3 serials from now, when we also get the Yeti and the Great Intelligence.
So he replaced Victoria?
No.
So we have 3 companions?
He is the head of a unit. United Nations Intelligence Task Force.
So he's just a recurring character.
He's a recurring companion.
Oh.
Okay. Eventually the Doctor gets stranded on Earth, and he works for UNIT. Okay, but at this point, UNIT is nascent, and the Brigadier is not quite a Brigadier yet. He becomes a Brigadier in the next year. We'll see him, and he comes in and out of the show.
Do they have to travel on the TARDIS to be qualified as a companion?
Yes and no. For companions, okay, there's a few things you have to do. You have to travel in the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
You have to help the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to fill the companion slot. Very specific role. Okay? There are some companions that have not done all these.
Like Sarah
Jane Smith?
No, the spacey one.
Sarah Kingdom. Right. Okay, and you have to go over multiple serials, okay?
She didn't do that.
She didn't do that.
So she's a...
No, but she's still a companion. Okay, the thing is you can...
Apocrypha.
No.
Semi-companion.
No. Hold on.
Part-time companion.
Alright. You can do some of these except one and still be considered a companion. Very specifically, if you fill the companion slot. The Brigadier does help the Doctor, the Brigadier does fill the companion slot, and the Brigadier eventually does travel the TARDIS. And he does, of course, cross multiple serials. But there are some companions that never travel the TARDIS. Because the Doctor's grounded during the third Doctor. He doesn't have the TARDIS. There's some companions that don't do multiple serials, especially during like David Tennant, the specials. Their companions don't do multiple serials, but they still fill the other 3. So generally speaking, you have to do all of them. But in some cases, you can miss 1 or occasionally 2 and still be a companion.
Okay.
But the Brigadier is very much a companion, and he starts in 3 serials from now.
Cool. You sound like you're a fan.
Yeah. All right. By the way, we will probably be missing several weekends for Christmas. New Year's, I will be in Costa Rica at my father's. He married a woman from Costa Rica. They have a house there. And I will be visiting my father for New Year's. I'll be at my grandmother's. She's 94. Yeah, I'll be at my grandmother's for Christmas. And in 2 weeks from today, I'll be showing Holden and his girlfriend Sarah and hopefully Levi good movie night.
2049.
Right. Wait, was it 2049? Blade Runner 2049. Because last week I showed them Blade Runner. They'd never seen it. And next time I'll show them Blade Runner 2049. So it's going to be sketchy through the holidays, as always. Can't help that.
Did you know in Star Wars Episode 1 or 2, there's an Easter egg of a Blade Runner vehicle?
No.
It's in there.
You mean episode 1 and episode 2?
The prequels.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, it's still better than the Disney movies. All right. Oh, and by the way, recently, remember we watched the Macro Terror? Mm-hmm. Literally just today, I picked up the animated Macro Terror, which we'll hopefully watch in a serial soon. Yeah, they're having a sale at Barnes & Noble, 50% off. I don't know why they forgot.
It just came out. That's how we're announced it.
Well, yeah, it came out like a week or two ago. I picked it up.
Half off.
And 50% off. I picked it up today, and tomorrow, the Sixth Doctor's second season, Trial of a Time Lord, is being released. So I'll be back there buying that, and that will go there. So anyway, lots of wonderful new Doctor Who coming out, or at least classic old Doctor Who coming out on Blu-ray, and this animated. So hopefully we'll continue that. I thought it was coming out in 2020, but it came out in 2019, barely. The next one is the Faceless Ones. Wait, is that right?
Ones without faces.
The Faceless Ones.
The next one's the Ice Warriors.
No. Okay, the next one to come out being animated is the Faceless Ones. The one after that is Fury from the Deep, which is four serials from now. The next one we're watching is the Ice Warriors next week. Then we'll probably miss several weeks for Blade Runner 2049, Christmas, and New Year's, and then we'll get back to it.
Cool. Maybe it'll be animated.
Alright. Yeah. Well, that probably won't be out by then. And like the Macro Terror, we may have to do an episode where we go back and watch the animation as opposed to the instructions. And that'll throw off our serial count, but that's fine. Any more questions?
I don't think so. I wrote down a bunch of questions that ended up being answered.
Oh,
like
okay.
Padma Samavar's split personality and his
because the Great Intelligence was controlling Padma Samavar, and he was controlling the Abbot, and the Abbot was controlling everybody else. Although the Abbot was controlling them by obedience oaths, right, and trainings and trances, and the Great Intelligence was controlling Padma Samavar by pure control of will and puppeteering, and he was controlling the Abbot the same way. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I think we covered everything.
I wrote down the snowman.
Yeah. The snowman. Okay. Hey. Eventually, we'll see obviously the Yeti and the Great Intelligence again in 3 more serials. And the modern stuff way up there, we'll see the Great Intelligence again with snowmen. And it's funny.
Like the Ice Warriors.
No, snowmen. Like Frosty the Snowman. It's hilarious.
Oh, we talked about how the Padma Samavar is the master.
No, he's called the Master. He's not the Master.
We talked about the sonic screwdriver.
It's not a sonic screwdriver. It's just a screwdriver.
Yeah.
We're getting to the sonic screwdriver really soon.
That covers it.
All right. We'll see you next week. Hope you have fun. Thank you so much.
Until next time.
Until next time.
We'll see you Tuesday. What day is it?
Merry
Chuck?
Christmas.
Today is Tuesday.
It's
What time
Monday.
is it, Chuck? Well, they see it on Tuesday.
Probably.